I have things to say. But this thing happens in my brain, like when I'm about to talk in a situation that is uncomfortable for me. Where, and I can feel it about to happen now. And it happens a lot with when I'm talking to strangers or acquaintances or people I don't know well. Where like the momentum behind my words is just too strong for what I have to say or what the conversation warrants. And so what happens is I end up like not saying anything because I'll start to say something and then like a whole like, that's how it feels, like a wave kind of comes over and it's like boop, boop, and it like all comes out in a weird way. And I can feel that happening right now. Like right now I kind of what's on my mind right now is like 5 and 10 year plans. Hopefully this looks somewhat cool. And but I could feel that about to happen. But anyway, I'm thinking about this a lot lately, and you know, I don't remember if I've always, actually, yeah, I have. I've always made lists in my notebook of things, whatever it is, small goals or listing aesthetic preferences or restaurants, or like before I trip I would make lists of things, or I'll make lists of like, you know, like to-do lists, like, you know, just lists. I like to make lists because it makes me feel like I am still exercising my ability or my desire to do something, even if I'm not planning on doing it right then. It just reminds me that that my brain isn't dead, basically, and that there's still things that I'm thinking about and hope to get around to. And oftentimes I do, just in a very slow, like roundabout way, like an animal circling its prey for like years and years and then just kind of like poking it. That's how I do things. It also just helps when you're as easily distractible as me to look at things you've been thinking about, because sometimes you forget, or if you're not like on that spark in the moment, it helps to go back and remember things that you were once thinking about. So let's see, what kind of list do I have in my phone right now? I have a to-do list. I have this to-do list is just like really simple things, like really easily achievable things. Like one of them is a paint my dresser. They're like, most of them are, I mean, I think all of them are seem to be some kind of creative project. So one of them is paint my dresser, but they're all like easily achievable things, like something I could just start doing when I'm at home. It's doesn't require a lot of thought. So I have paint my dresser, because we have a little dresser that it's just like plain wood and it has our underwear in it, and we started painting it, and then it just sat in the living room for a while, and so when we just put it back. But it's small, so it would be easy, and you know, we have paint. So another one is go through my clothes. which should also be kind of easy, but it's just kind of annoying. But I got a sewing machine, so the goal with that is to find clothes in there that I want to alter and make into something else. Another thing is start reading this herbalism book that I actually ordered through an Instagram ad, and I'm hoping is not complete bullshit. It also has like a course attached to it, and so I could start reading that and taking notes. Also should be pretty easy. I also have mood board on here, and that's from a while ago because I think I was thinking about like houses and decorations and stuff that I like. Decor, architecture. And I wanted to make a mood board for that. But it could be for anything. It could be for anything. I don't know about that one. I have developed film on here because I have several rolls of film that I need to develop. A couple that I could be blank, so that's annoying. I'll just develop all of them. This is a new one. I was gonna buy a Polaroid camera just for fun. Another one is to sand and gesso the canvases that are here. And yeah, I haven't been that into painting the last few weeks, but. And then the other ones are drop off more resumes because I might need a second job. I might not. I'm able to pick up enough shifts at my current job, and sometimes I cover at my old job. And I'm going to be taking a painting class at a community college every Saturday. So I might not even really have time. Like I could probably handle one day a week right now. But I feel like honestly I'm getting that at my other job. So I might postpone that. What other lists? Oh yeah, we were talking about. What the fuck? My to-do list got deleted somehow. The fuck, dude? How do I... Okay, well, I'll fix that later. Some other things. Oh, I even wrote down things to talk about in the vlogs, in these vlogs. I guess I won't read those right now. Some of them I'm already talking about. I have a list in here of future house must-haves. These are like mostly not objects. Some of them are objects, but they're mostly like permanent fixtures. Like I really want a sunroom. Another list is things I want / need. These are just random specific things. Some of them are like herbal stuff that I wanted to try. One of them is a blanket. Some of them are like sugar holders or like oil and vinegar shakers, rugs. I want to make fresh squeezed tangerine juice. Candles. I need a shit ton of candles. These are just like little things. I have like a list of places in here that I write down if I come across anything cool on Instagram or I hear someone tell me about something that I would 100% forget if I didn't write it down. I have a list in there for that. In case I'm ever on a trip or something and I could be like, oh, I have this really cool thing that's probably not listed online. There's a lot of kind of little things in here. Okay, I'm back. So the thing about it is that most of the time, like 85, 90, 95, 100% of the time, I just want to be like in the forest, basically. I just want to be driving down an open road to my house that has all of the things on my list. Like, and I guess that's kind of one of my 5 or 10 year goals. Getting really depressed thinking about this. Because I kind of don't really even know where to start with that. I also really want to open up like a cafe or wine bar kind of thing. And like this has sort of been a dream of mine since I was in high school. It's been one of the only dreams, like tangible dreams, I remember thinking about. And it's always kind of changed shape. It's never been like a really specific thing, but this concept is really familiar in my brain. So in high school, I would see these houses in Portland, where I grew up, where there would be something underneath. I think there was maybe one on Alberta where there was a gallery on the bottom and like apartments on the top. And I was like, I want that. I want that really bad. Like I want to live above a gallery and just have it be my own gallery where I can put up wherever I wanted. Whatever I wanted. And I've had different, like what even have been my goals? I feel like the other ones were just kind of maybe like not really my goals. They were things I thought looked cool. Like at one point I wanted to go to fashion school, right? Or I wanted to get into the art scene. Like the legit art scene in New York. I've had different bigger dreams that kind of feel beyond me and not really like me, but this dream feels very damn it, I think my voice is gonna get weirder and weirder, I think, because I'm drinking coffee. And my breathing, if you can. I don't know, this one just feels like real. It feels like it could actually happen. It feels like more my speed. And I think it kind of just boils down to like, I want something to be mine. I want something that I can have complete control over, that I can have, that I get the say in, and I get to make look how I want to look. And that now that's kind of evolved into wanting some sort of cafe, like bar situation. I say wine bar because I want it to be like on the earlier side of a hangout. So I don't want it to be like a really late night spot. Like it would probably close at midnight, which is still late. But, and like I want it to be fun, you know, but I feel like not that fun. It's really like a chill. I want it to be a cafe in the morning, so you know it opens at 8 or whatever, and there's breakfast and brunch, and then there's lunch. There's like all the meals. It's like really small amounts of foods, like really not like a huge extensive menu, just very specific things, and they can rotate. Like it can be you know, just a few ingredients that we like make into different things every month or whatever. I don't know, something simple. Like I don't want it to be too focused on food. It's just, but there is food, and coffee and tea and like chai, and then like wine and beer, and maybe some, like maybe just a few of each liquor, or maybe like just liqueurs or like aperitifs, or like maybe not hard liquor, because that could turn into a bar really quickly. I don't know, it depends. I feel like there's a lot you could do to sort of direct the vibe, even if you did have liquor. Like, for example, only having a few different kinds of liquor and putting the focus heavily on like certain kinds of drinks, so people aren't just coming in and thinking they can get like what you get at a normal bar. And I really liked the name, the Indigo Room. And it would, I guess it would be, I was thinking at first, like it probably wouldn't even be indigo, because I don't even know if I like that color, but I think that color would actually look really cool on a building more than it does like just up close, you know? So it's like a deep kind of purpley blue. Actually, that's a good color. So it could be indigo, but it could be not. That could be funny too. And there's so many things that I see now, like when I go vintage shopping or when I go to bars or even at my work, I notice like the ways that they serve things, and I'm like, I wouldn't do it like that. I would do it like this, or I'd be like, I would do it like this if I see like really cute glasses at Goodwill, or if we go to a bar that has this stuff. Like I'm always thinking about it now, and it's just so much fun. I would also definitely want to have like art shows and events. Like I just want it to be this sort of vague thing. Like it could be whatever you want it to be, right? I mean, it's definitely a cafe, but like if I wanted to have an event or something there, I could, because it's mine. So I think I just really want a space that I can do whatever I want with. And yeah. What other 5 or 10 year goals? I mean, that would probably be more of like a 10-year goal. And it might not even turn out to be a situation where I'm living above the space. Like, just whatever I can find. And I'm kind of just waiting for something to feel right. Because I really doubt it'll happen in Portland, which is where I live now. Because it's so expensive here. And that's frustrating to me, because Portland is the place I know the best. But there's also a part of me that feels like it won't happen in Portland. Like I just don't see it. I see it happening in like a small town. In the Pacific Northwest, probably, because this is the weather I like. But I see it happening in a small town. I just don't know what small town. And I have no idea like how to find that. It's hard living in a new place, so that kind of scares me too, because I've lived in new places before, and you think it's going to be easy, and that like if you have enough manic energy you'll be adaptable, and that's somewhat true. But as far as like really putting down roots and like actually feeling like it's home, that's really difficult to do. So I feel like I have a head start because I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and so a lot of the towns like feel the same. But still, like there's some cute small towns, but I don't really, getting text messages. There's cute small towns, but I don't really know them. Like, I don't know anything about them. And so I don't know, I'm just hoping that like I go on a road trip or something, which I want to do, or something, just like there's some kind of spark, some kind of draw to some place, and then I can explore it, and you know, maybe I find something that way. In that same vein, I want to own a house, like at some point. I don't have this fucking slightest clue how to really do that. And that's the same thing too. Is like, I really cannot see myself buying a house in Portland unless, honestly, unless the bubble bursts and it just gets cheap here again, because then the whole vibe might go back to normal. I don't know, it feels, I guess it doesn't feel that different. It does feel different in a way I can't really explain, but if the bubble bursts, then I probably would. I don't know. I probably would. Yeah, I guess those are my goals. Those are like the big ones, is like buy something. Do the first step in having some kind of space too. It has to be like a storefront though, because I really I want to rely mostly on like foot traffic. Like I really like marketing too, but I don't want to be one of those places that like no one can find, because I don't want to do that much marketing. That's just annoying, right? So it's kind of complicated. Yeah. It's frustrating living in apartments now, because I just constantly wonder, like, how long am I going to be here, and how much should I really do to this space before I have to move out? And it kind of stops me. I feel constantly like I'm stopping myself from really decorating this place, because I don't feel like a huge attachment to it, because I just keep thinking about like how I want a house eventually. And that's frustrating. That makes me feel like I should just buy a house so that I can really go all in with decorating. But I don't want to rush it and like mess things up. And I'm like really have an issue with money. Like I'm really stingy with it. I'm really fearful of money. So I really can't force the money thing. I don't think. Okay, so I just had a thought of like a little project that I could do, because something else I want to do that's maybe a more immediate goal is I want to have some kind of like side business, whether that's like a shop. It would probably be kind of like a shop, because I want to make something. I mean, if I could think of something that isn't like a craft, that would be cool too, but I can't at the moment. So I had a few ideas. Like a couple years ago, I wanted to start some kind of clothing shop. But I'm such a fucking procrastinator. It's horrible. And what I have been doing is sort of like, since I had that idea, collecting things that I don't necessarily wear or have something wrong with them, or would be better if they were altered. And they're just kind of mixed in with all my clothes now. But I never actually got around to sewing anything or really seriously laying something out. But I just had this thought, because I went to Safeway to buy bobby pins, that if I got bigger versions, like, you know, the big, like flat ones that are kind of nicer bobby pins, I could decorate them with fabric or like ribbons or beads or something like that, and make sort of like this little hanging situation, because I would wear that. I mean, at first I was thinking about it for me, but I think that could work. Like I might actually do that. So that's a concept that I think might be easy to actually start. Did someone like eat my blinds? Actually, I was writing them down. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I have the bobby pins one. Something else. This requires some research. Making perfume oil. I think that could be really fun. And I don't know how difficult it is, really, but that would be fun. I really, really like tinctures, and I actually have been collecting some from like THC oil and what was the other one? Like, oh yeah, Chinese, just like some Chinese herbs. The ones I have though, I think are really meant more for like herbal tinctures, like to be put in your mouth because of the way the dropper is. But maybe I could get a different dropper, or yeah, because I think the when you use perfume oil, you use like a little wand, or you just like open it up and dump it on you. So the ones I have are pretty big, so maybe that's too big for perfume oil because you really don't need that much. But something else I wanted to do was like herbal tinctures. That's why I was kind of getting into herbalism. Well, I was getting into herbalism because for my own self, but I thought it'd be cool to make some kind of like really simple herbal tinctures, like something really basic that maybe has importance to me, something that like I use a lot. But that's a little more difficult because it would be definitely fun to learn how to make. But as far as selling that, I don't know. You know, because I mean, you're putting that in your mouth, and it's part of that. I don't want to sound like I'm just full of shit by like just selling this herbal tincture that I like just barely know about. So perfume oil might be a more worthy venture. I also, by the way, I should mention that I see all of these things as like just a shop. Like I really don't want to hone in on any one thing. My whole thing when it comes to making stuff is I just like when things are a hodgepodge of stuff. That's how I like my art to be. It's how I always used to organize my websites and my blogs, because I just like it when you can look at something and you just see the person behind it. You don't really see like anyone excelling at any one craft. It's just, you kind of get like the whole vision, like a sense of someone's whole aesthetic. If you look at a shop or a website or something, like I really like when people do a lot of different things. That's more interesting to me from a creative standpoint, at least. So that's what I would want to do. Because knowing me, everything that I try, I probably would only try, I don't want to say half-ass, but like it's not going to be a superior project. They're just projects, right? Something else was t-shirts, but like long t-shirts. I think I just actually had this idea now. Like they have to be kind of oversized and long, because that's how I love to wear t-shirts. And it actually frustrates me that I can really rarely find long t-shirts. Like the bigger they just get wider. But I really like a good, like baggy, but also long t-shirt. So I might have to do some alterations there, like add something to the bottom. But the original idea was to maybe learn how to screen print. Like I'm really not interested in screen printing, and it could be one of those things where if I decide, oh, I'm gonna do this screen printing, I'll just never do it because I'll be like, I don't want to learn how to screen print. But I have something I do a lot is like I doodle stuff. I usually doodle like some kind of vines or like squiggles or something like that. Like I do like line work if I doodle on something. And so I also take a lot of cell phone photos that don't really get any use. And I've always wanted to use like iPhone photos in some kind of really important way, like showcase them in some kind of fancy way, as if they're, do you know what I mean? Like, and people have actually done this since I thought of this idea. So I'm glad it's a good idea. Because I've seen people actually make like fabric out of cell phone photos, or like, you know, people do this with like scans of old magazines or like, you know, like pinup girls, or people do it with scans of old stuff like all the time. They'll make like fabric or they'll turn it into like the background of their art or something like that. But I always wanted to do with my cell phone photos. Just because I have so many and they really don't go anywhere but Instagram, but a lot of them are really pretty and interesting looking in their own right. You know, like I feel like cell phone photos, there's a lot of photos and a lot of things that I document just on my cell phone, even though I could use like a nicer camera. I do it on my phone because I feel like that's all it needs, I guess. So I have so many of these, and now that I don't have like a Tumblr, or I mean, I do actually remade my Tumblr, but now that I don't really blog anymore and I only Instagram, and I'm so particular with what I use on Instagram anyway, they don't really have a purpose. So screen printing like doodles or cell phone photos onto a t-shirt in some kind of cool way and making them into something wearable, that's something else I wanted to do. And that's kind of all my ideas for some kind of like side business or shop. I guess I have to do some research on perfume oil first. And I bet there's some way to do a lot of it naturally. But yeah, I have to do some research to figure out if it's something I actually want to do. But I just think that would be really fun. And they would all be like really earthy flavors and smells. Because the only thing I wear is amber, which is like a really neutral smell. So it would be stuff like that, but maybe like combinations of stuff. And this is not a new concept at all. I just think it would be really fun. And I just love tiny little bottles. I want to like decorate them cool. And it just sounds really fun. I mean, the most frustrating part about this is that none of these are like, nothing's really a new idea anymore. But it doesn't really matter. But it is kind of annoying at the same time, right? I have something else to say. So I'm trying to figure out if I can wear this today. So this is actually a skirt that, really can't see it. Anyway, it's a skirt that I really liked the top of, so I wanted to make it into a shirt. I was planning on like cutting this back open because obviously it doesn't fit correctly, but I have to go to work soon and I like want to wear something interesting. And I can't figure out if it looks too lumpy. Everything always looks better when you're at home, you know? Okay, I'm gonna wear it, but I'm bringing a backup shirt because this is like one of the only things that is inspiring me lately, and it feels like the first step in like altering clothing, because this was the most recent thing I bought that I wanted to alter. And I've been wearing pretty much the same thing, like a slight variation of the same thing for a couple months now, and this is definitely not that. Like, I've been wearing a lot of t-shirts, and this is not at all. So even though it kind of fits weird, I'm also wearing pajama pants on the bottom. So, but that is the aesthetic, okay? The aesthetic is like super comfortable. I mean, this isn't like that comfortable, but you know, the rest of me is comfortable, and I look comfortable. At least I think I do. The vibe is comfortable, but like a little bit sultry, and this is like a little bit sultry, and so is this. And my fucking heroin eyes. So yeah, that's the vibe.